Now that we have our static load created, we are going to go into rotations. So this video is going to show you guys how to add a rotation. So we're going to go into static projects. We are going to create a whole new rotation. So we're going to click the add button over here. We are just going to use my name just so we can remember it. And then, the name that you want to use is something that's critical to that rotation group that you're creating. It doesn't always have to be the contract number. If you want to just use the town name or whatever, something that's just going to be important and relatable to this rotation that you're creating. The rotation start date. It's going to automatically choose today's date. If you want the rotation, your grid, to start on a Sunday or a Monday, you're going to want to go in and manually change it. So I'm going to select Sunday, and then your rotation days cycle. The default is 7 days. If you have drivers that switch off every other weekend, you would want to choose a 14-day, or you can do a 21-day, whatever works best for your rotation group. Then you're going to want to do rotation origin and destination. Where is this driver group ending at? Anytime you have to put in the origin and destination to create your bench or budget. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in our location. So we'll do this Phoenix, Arizona parking. And then to make the rotation live, you must check active. If your rotation was just for a peak season or temporarily, you could use this end date to have that rotation only post for 2 months, let's say. So that's where you're going to put end date and then select the date that it's going to stop on. Then we're going to want to hit add. So now we have our new rotation down here called Brooke. The next step we're going to go to is sequence. And this is where we're going to apply that trip that we created into this rotation group. So we're going to find our trip 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have it over here on the left-hand side. And then how you apply to the rotation group is you're going to click the first stop and you're going to drag it over. So now we have our trip assigned to this rotation group. We're going to right click on that now, the load, and we're going to make it a name that is going to be useful for us. So we're going to change it to trip 1, 2, 3, 4 and enter. Now we have our new name. If you did not see your contract or trip over here, you could go to tree options and you could sort however you wanted. So if you wanted to do all customers and then by specific contract, you could do that. Or you could go to all customers and then your groups. The next step we're going to do now that we have our trip assigned is we're going to go to driver schema. This is where we're going to create the days that this trip runs. The first thing you're going to want to do is create a driver letter. We like to use AA, AB, AC, etc. This letter sequence is just a placeholder for that driver. We don't like to use the driver's initials because if Joe Schmo quits, then you're going to have to recreate your whole rotation schedule. Also, you have common names like MS, JS that fall into a group, so you would have overlaps. So if you can try to stay to generic AA, AB, AC, that's the best way to go. So we're going to use AA, hit tab. Now we're going to choose a color for that letter. We're just going to use blue and then hit OK. Now we're going to apply AA to the days that it runs. So this trip was a K7 and it goes Monday through Saturday. So we're going to click the boxes for those days. It does not run on Sunday, so we're going to place an XX. That lets anybody that comes into this rotation group know that the XX signifies it does not run that day. So we're going to type in XX, hit tab, and we're going to choose a color for it. Typically, we like to use a black or a red, so we'll choose black, hit OK, and now we're going to put XX into that box. So now we have our schedule set up. The AA is what days that this route is going to post on. Now we want to apply our driver. So we're going to hit the driver's button. So it's already going to default to group for you. If you need to go to a different group, you can hit this change group button. And you could go in default driver group and you could select the group that you are looking for. Once you have that group selected, you can just click close form and it's going to populate that new group. Now, how to find your driver, you're going to scroll through the list. Any driver that has just a green person next to it, that means that they're not assigned to a rotation group. If they had a yellow person next to them, that means that they're assigned to this group. And if you had a blue-green person next to a driver's name, that means that they're assigned to a different rotation group. So we're just going to use Lisa up here at the top. She is not assigned to any rotation group. So what we're going to do to apply her to this trip is we are going to click on her name. We're going to drag it to the AA and then release your cursor. So now that applies her driver ID to this rotation and trip. So then what's going to happen is Monday through Saturday, this trip is automatically going to apply to Lisa. So that is how you set up a rotation group and assigning a driver.